Okay, and we're live. Welcome everyone to our Facebook Live with Najma Khan, who is here today from Western Australia. I'm very excited because we had a month off, and so now we're back again with our monthly Facebook Lives. And what a great background you have, Najma. Can you please
Thank
tell
you.
us who you are, what your business is, and how long you've been a profit-first professional for?
Oh, so many questions already, Laura.
I know.
Okay, as you can see, my name, I'm Najma Khan, and I have a business called Latrobe Bookkeeping. I started my business in 2014 I actually, with the intention of actually helping others. And the reason why I started my business was because I was I left the corporate world. I worked for, I was in banking and I worked for a private company, left it to take care of my kids, as all moms do. And of course, I was thoroughly bored staying at home. So I decided, okay, it's time for me to start something. And I started my business in 2014. So July 2014. And in the business since then.
And how's it going? And what made you actually decide and choose to become a profit-first professional?
Okay, good question. Well, before I started my business, I wanted to do something different because my parents back home in South Africa have a business they do corporate wear. And of course, looking at my parents and the way they ran their business, and they just never seemed to have the time to spend with us. And if it was a family holiday, it would, we have to wait until the end of the financial year or, end of the year or, whenever they had the time to do it. And I just wanted to do something different. And the difference was I wanted my business to revolve around my lifestyle because I homeschool my kids. So, and I actually came across Profit First in 2014 when Mike had just launched the book. Actually, he just wrote it and it was launched and everybody was, I obviously did a search and found the Profit First book, read it, and I started implementing it in my business. So, and I just loved everything about it. It just made absolute sense when I actually started reading it. And of course, this is what I've done. I've actually implemented it from day one in my business, and I absolutely swear by it.
That's amazing. So day one, I don't hear that very often. I hear, people say that they were in a really difficult situation and then they came across Profit First and it changed their world. So the fact that you've implemented it from day one is fantastic, and we highly recommend it, don't we, to business owners?
Definitely, yes.
What sort of impact has it had on your business?
Oh, it's made a tremendous impact. Okay, like I said, I wanted a business that revolved around my lifestyle. Firstly, of course, everybody talks about take your profit first. We do that. I've implemented it from day one, so I didn't really have any difficulties in my business ever when it came to cash flow. And after implementing it for about 3 to 4 months in my business, and I realized that I'm actually working with clients that are having cash flow problems. And there was no way I was going to actually allow my clients to actually go through all of that pain. And I decided, hey, I've read the book. It says that I can become a Profit First professional. So I reached out to Homebase in the US and I asked if I could become a Profit First professional. And of course, they gladly said yes. And of course, I wanted to actually help my clients do the same and live the lifestyle I've been living. So yeah, and I've actually started implementing it in my client's business. But when you want to know exactly what it's done for my business, I'm going to tell you that when I first started my business, I had the intention of actually, I heard a story about, a resource which is so important in everyone's life, and it's water. And because I come from South Africa, lots of people actually don't have water, and it's very difficult for especially women and girls in South Africa and in third world countries, where they actually go out walking during the day for hours to go and fetch water, bring it over to their house, and of course, so that they can use it and cook and do everything else with it. And so my intention was actually to help those women and children that actually spend the entire day going and fetching water and coming back and trying to make a difference in their lives. And in last year, exactly, well, when I started, obviously, my business, when I started taking out my profit, of course, firstly, it was for me. And last year, the difference that I started making, you know, I never actually shared this with any of my clients or anybody. And I was told by one of my clients, who is a marketing consultant, she says, Najma, you have to share it with the world because it is so important, because you are making a difference in people's lives. And I really didn't want to do it. But today I'm actually openly saying to you that this is what I've done. And over the past 3 years, okay, for the first 3 years of my business, I was taking out profit. Last year, I saw a tremendous difference in my business where my profit was obviously, the percentage of my business had increased. So of course, you can't live. How much of profit can you take for yourself? So I obviously opened another account, and that was called my charity water account.
Lovely.
And so the percentage of, from my business actually goes to my charity water account. And since last year, every quarter, I've built a well in a third world country.
Fantastic.
So to me, it's made a big difference, because it is most humbling when each quarter I give out that money, the well is built, and I receive a report. And together with the report, I see about 10 families around the well that are so grateful and say thank you to me for making a difference in their lives. It just dawned on me last week that you don't have to be a big business or a corporate, big corporation to make a difference in somebody's life. You can be a sole trader and you can make a difference in someone's lives. And to me, just to make the difference in a girl's life, where instead of her going to walking 100 miles to go and get water and come back and never being educated, she can now go to school in the time that she goes to go and fetch water. So this for me has made a difference. And I think just implementing profit first in my business has made that difference and given me the ability to do this. So I'm just...
That's amazing, and I'm so glad you shared, because we often don't hear this side of profit first, and the fact that profit first, implementing it in your own business has given you, I guess, the opportunity to do this on such a level, and it's so true, is that yes, profit, we want our businesses to be profitable so that we can then share and change the world it could be a minute way, or it could be a really big way. So Najma, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And more people need to implement profit first so that they can do it too.
Yes.
And I know that that's a major mission that you have, is to educate and to implement profit first in as many businesses as you possibly can, so that they can then make that impact in the world as well. So first of all, thank you. And I guess my follow-up question around that is so how do you implement profit first with your clients? What are some examples of clients that have come to you? What are the problems that they have? What difference has that made in their business and then ultimately the world?
Okay, for me, the clients that I have, everyone has a problem, and it's usually cash flow.
Yes.
It's, I never seem to have enough money, in the bank account, or at the end of each financial year, you hear the client saying, oh, I've got a profit. My accountant just told me I've got a profit, I made a profit at the end of the financial year, but there never seems to be any money. And of course, this is where the Profit First professional comes in, and he actually helps you and shows you how to do that. And the other problem is most business owners forget to pay themselves. And
not a priority, is it?
No. And as we always say as Profit First professionals, that we are number one employees in our business. So and the reason why we start our business is obviously to pay ourselves and to make money. I mean, we haven't started a business to actually just take in fresh air. It's
Absolutely.
more about it is, at the end of the day, it is money. It's to earn money. And this is where I found that most of my clients have come to me and they were unable to pay themselves, or they never saw a profit. And of course, at the end of each financial year, when the accountant says you've made a profit and now you need to pay taxes, and they never seem to have the money. So implementing Profit First with my clients and allowing them to have all of these accounts, and doing all of the setting up the relevant accounts. And we actually implement it very slowly. It's staged. Everything, nothing is done, just, okay, read the book. It's all there. It's simple. Implementing it is, just reading it and implementing it from the book is one thing. But working with a Profit First professional, being hand holding a client and showing them the steps, rolling it out, and accountability is so important, because when you're accountable, it makes a difference. And I have seen this firsthand with my clients. They've had the ability. I had a client who actually, one of her brother-in-law was actually ill, and just implementing Profit First over 1 year made a complete difference in her life, because she had the ability to actually stop what she was doing and go to the UK. She had the funds, she could do it. And, she went and spent time with him and all of that. So it actually really does make a difference.
It absolutely does. And I think you are a superb example of a Profit First professional, that it's not just about the implementation of Profit First, it's understanding what the person's purpose is. Why did they start the business? What are they wanting to achieve? Whether it's, from putting a certain amount of money aside, from getting, their debt down to zero, to being able to close their business off and go to the UK, as you said, that it's the way that you approach things. And I know that you won't say this yourself, so I'm going to say it for everyone that's watching this, is that it's holistic. You don't just look at, here's Profit First and let's implement it in your business. It is you as the person, the business owner, your business. What is the impact that you're wanting to make in the world? How would implementing this strategy affect, your life, your family's life, other people's lives, and that sort of thing. And I think people get so caught up in implementing Profit First that they don't realize that working with a Profit First professional, and especially someone like you, Najma, who looks at the big picture, the legacy, the impact, and all of that. And so, I have to say this so that people know, do you know what I mean? But it's exactly what you do, and other Profit First professionals do it as well. And that's another reason why, get started with the implementation yourself. But the difference that you can make is not the same as if you're working with a Profit First professional who can assist you to reach those bigger goals, to keep you accountable, as Najma said. So, question for you, Najma. What would your number one tip be for business owners when it comes to either the implementation of Profit First or things to consider?
Okay. Firstly, it's just not one tip. What I'd say is what I suggest to do is, okay, if you're registered for GST, this is something I find with most businesses. If you are registered for GST, please open a GST account. That money is not your money. Please, you've got to separate it immediately when it hits your account. Just remove the GST, and then, of course, implement everything else that you want to do. Do whatever you want to do with your business. Do whatever you need to. But I think starting from today, if any business owner that's listening to us today, if they can just open a profit account and just take away 1%, if it's $1,000 that you earn today, just taking away, $10, 1%, just, depositing it and just watching it grow. The other thing I suggest to people is don't trade your time for money. Because most businesses, even I do it sometimes. I want to do my own marketing. Bookkeepers, business owners want to do their own bookkeeping. And what we don't realize is that we spend far too much of time trying to do our bookkeeping or our marketing or whatever we want to do when we can actually hire an expert. It costs you far more, less dollars if you just paid somebody to do it than to sit down and do it, because, you're trading your time for money. And that time that you've taken, 3 hours that you tried to learn that Facebook Live or anything else, some MailChimp, for example, you could have just hired somebody and got them to do it. And it would have taken them an hour to do. You've taken 3 hours. And you could have spent that 3 hours on doing something more constructive in your business.
Making more money. Exactly.
Yes, billable, making more money.
Absolutely. And I think we forget, especially, when we're used to doing everything and being the jack of all trades in our business, that, even the time for money applies to pricing. And these are other things that you can do with a profit-first professional, is looking at, well, is your pricing literally hourly pricing where you're going to hit that ceiling where you're not going to be able to achieve the things that you need to achieve in your business? And so it's also looking at that. It's looking at, efficiencies and systemizations and that sort of thing. So I think that for me would be the biggest tip that you can give business owners, Najma, is the whole don't trade time for money. So you said you had a few tips. Are there any more tips that you'd like to share?
Book a call, contact PFP, fill out the form, and yes, talk to a PFP. It's so important.
Absolutely. And so, so we may have some accountants, bookkeepers, or coaches that are watching. Why should they consider becoming a profit-first professional?
Why should they consider? Okay. I'm not too sure if the bookkeepers and accountants that are listening to me today, what I can tell you is that profit-first professionals, we are all a family. Whether globally, we are family. Home base, Melbourne base, I think each one of us actually, those that have actually become profit-first professionals are actually committed, not just to the profit-first philosophy, where we say eradicate, it's Mike's mission to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. It's not about that, but they have a commitment to their clients. And I have seen it firsthand, meeting profit-first professionals. They really want to help their clients. And if you want to make a difference in your client's life, then by all means, become a profit-first professional. You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain, because it's made a difference in my life. Really, if I didn't implement it, I don't think I would just be another bookkeeper, but seeing the difference. And the assistance we get from Laura, we get it from Homebase in the US, and from the other PFPs themselves. They each one is an expert in the different industry, and the help and the knowledge we gain is how could I say, unbelievable. It's unprecedented. That's all I can say. And if you really want to become the expert in your field, by all means, become a profit-first professional, or talk to another profit-first professional and see what difference it's made in their lives.
Absolutely. And so my biggest question to you is, where can people find you? What's the best way to contact you? What is the process there?
Okay, I have a website. It's called Literal Bookkeeping. Not the best name, but or you could search up Najma Khan. I think there are very few Najma Khans, probably not in Pakistan,
Absolutely. And I know
in
that
Australia.
Michelle has popped your Facebook page in the comments here on this live today. And the other thing is, as well, as if you're unsure of the best place to find Najma, you can always put through a request on the website, profitfirstaustralia.com.au. And there's a find one, and you can request specifically for Najma if you'd like. And we will then get you in contact and tee up a call, and then you can take it from there. If anyone has any questions, whether that you're watching now or come back and watch the replay, feel free to comment on this live and ask the questions. Najma and I will more than happily respond. And yeah, is there anything else that you wanted to add, Najma, before we finish up?
I just say, please, if you're a business owner or an accountant, go on to profitfirstaustralia.com and .com.au, is it?
Yes.
And yes, well, even if you go to .com, you'd still be able to, yes, speak to a Profit First professional. I don't mind saying read the book. Read the book, by all means, read the book, but speak to a Profit First professional. It'll make a world of difference.
Absolutely.
In your life. Yeah.
And I think businesses to succeed, there are too many that are shutting their doors, not because there isn't a purpose or a passion, but because there is no profit, and profit is the oxygen or the water, in Najma's case, of the business. So don't feel afraid either to ask the silly questions or to reach out, because there's no such thing. And our mission as a collective is to help as many businesses as possible. So feel free to comment below. And Najma, thank you so much for coming on today. I know that Facebook Lives are not your favorite thing to do, so it's great to see you out of your comfort zone, and you've been amazing. And thank you again for sharing the impact that Profit First has allowed you to make in the world. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you.